Right, so when we're working out the equation of a line, like these ones here, we have, as I've written up here, we have the equation is y is equal to something times x plus something. The somethings can be referred to as m and c, they're the letters, and they are the gradient and the y-intercept. So what does that mean? The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and the gradient is how steep the line is. More specifically, we know so how steep the line is. So a larger gradient, more steep line, and the number in this case 3 means that every time it goes across on the x-axis by 1, it would go up by 3. So let's look at and if it goes down, it's got a negative gradient. So this one's also a negative gradient. Now, when we've got a graph drawn for us already, the first thing to do is to find 2 points on it that we can easily read the coordinates. So ideally, they're going to be the corners of these squares. So I would pick that one up there because I can easily see it goes through 4 and it goes through -2. So the coordinates -2 and 4. And the other one I would pick, we want it to be as far away as possible and easy to read. And it's this one here. I would put this one. You don't have to pick those. It's just that you're going to get a more precise answer if they're further away and they're easy to read. So this one's going to be 0 and then -2. Right. So that's the first step. That's the important point. After that, what we do is we draw a triangle. So how do we draw a triangle? Well, basically we draw a line. To be honest, it doesn't really matter how far you draw that line. Let's just draw it all the way to the end, just to demonstrate that it doesn't really matter. And then we'll draw another line from the other one going all the way down. So you can see it doesn't really matter because we end up basically where they cross, that whole thing becomes a triangle, right? So just to make sure it's obvious, I've now made a triangle like that. Okay. Now, we're going to find. So we need to find the equation y equals to something times x plus something. Now, the something is the y-intercept. That's dead easy. Where does it cross the y-axis? -2. So I could say plus -2, or I could just go take away 2. And this is where we do the gradient. So the way that we do this is we look at the bottom of the triangle and we say the change in x, it goes from -2 to 0. So the change in x, we use a little triangle, that means change in, so change in x is equal to 2. So it's gone up by 2. Now, the change in y, it's actually gone down. So it went from 4 all the way down to -2. So change in y is actually -6. Okay? If you end up writing 6 instead of -6, it's not a big deal as long as you just notice that the gradient at the end must be negative because it's clearly going down. But it's better to notice that it's actually the gradient is negative because the y value is going down. Okay, anyway. So we've got the gradient is going to be equal to the change in y over the change in x. So it's -6 over 2. And that gives us -3. So that means that the equation is -3x minus 2. Okay.